Oh, this is pretty funny. Let's play this. This is amazing. Apparently, Ted Cruz has a podcast. And how do they bill this show?
Verdict.
It's Verdict. But what did you say? That it's like this is the daily. Well, does he talk about it?
We can play the trailer if we'd like.
Yeah, let's play the trailer first. Or actually, let's listen to this clip and then we'll play the trailer. So here he is, and his co-host is this guy, Michael Knowles. Is that it? And Michael Knowles was I want to say he was a failed actor, but I mean, let's be honest. There's a difference between being a has-been and a never was. I think he's a never was.
Failed actor.
That's right. And I say this as somebody who's almost sort of like, I think arguably has been. I had a manager from Brillstein Gray, and when he took me on, he was not aware of all the stuff I had done. And I said, see, you thought I was a never was. I'm a has-been, dude. But Michael Knowles, I think the best thing he ever did was just put together his demo reel. And here he is. He's co-hosting. So the podcast is just Ted Cruz and Michael Knowles. They don't have any guests.
It doesn't look that way.
All right, and here they are. And they're discussing, they're going over, well, here, just play this.
I wouldn't put it past them to have electronic voting, to have, number one, a holiday, a mandated federal holiday on Election Day, and electronic voting, because, we've seen how...
Pause it for 1 second. Pause it for 1 second. Incidentally, he's listing off the horrible things that could happen if Bernie Sanders gets elected. And that could be electronic voting, which I'm not convinced, I've never really heard as a Democratic plan. But voting is a holiday? Can you imagine... like talking about this as if this is a scary concept to
just
people?
Tyranny.
I mean, it's scary if you don't like popular democracy.
But I mean, to sort of articulate it out loud, like, can you believe, like, good luck to you living in a world where it's a holiday when you have to vote.
A day off to vote.
Son, I remember back before this new regime. You had to work on Election Day.
That is
and you had to get really lucky to go and vote.
That is like the purge to them, is just people voting.
It's crazy.
There are all these people who are going to go out today.
I let you down. I should have stopped it. I should have known it when they made Election Day a holiday that this would happen. Voting rates would go up. I'm sorry, son.
And electronic voting, because, we've seen how well that worked in Iowa.
So great.
They'll have the same guy, Robbie Mook, who, what a name.
Robbie Mook worked for Mrs. Clinton.
He was Hillary Clinton, I guess, her campaign manager.
And he was behind that app that completely botched the Iowa caucuses.
So instead, we'll just have the entire elections run through an app. But don't worry, if it's not Democratic operatives running the app, it'll be big tech. Because we can trust big tech to be in charge of our
They would
elections.
never censor conservatives, have a political bias.
And as bad as they are now.
Pause it for 1 second. I would love to just, I really don't think I could listen to it myself, but hire somebody and find out how much of their podcast is just about bemoaning how unfair everybody is to them. It's all just aggrievement. We're going to take a moment out of our aggrievement just to bring you an ad for gold or something.
Bias.
And as bad as they are now,
Yeah.
in a Bernie Sanders administration, they would, I am not exaggerating when I say this podcast could very well be off the air.
Well, because social media, these big tech companies, they go after conservatives, even when the Republicans have the Senate, when you can grill them, drag them to the Capitol.
Which I've
Pause
done
it.
a bunch
The
of
only way this podcast is going to be on the air is if Bernie Sanders wins, right? That's the only way that podcast is going to survive. Now, what is it? They're going to take it off the air. There's Ted Cruz. This is what they're doing. They're aspiring to create. I mean, this is the one thing that makes me a little skeptical about what Chris Matthews was saying. Like, I'm going to get shot in Central Park, and these guys are saying like they're gonna outlaw my podcast. I don't know what that means, right? Like, it's not like it's broadcast anyway. Like, how would you stop them from recording like they're gonna keep conservatives from having even recording equipment. Do we have the trailer?
Yes.
Okay, here it is.
This is just the calendar of days that they've recorded.
Okay, let's see.
Join Senator Ted Cruz as he breaks down the most important political stories of the day on his new podcast, Verdict.
The left is energized, they're angry, and they're going to show up. The Nancy Pelosi House, I think they're interested in just nonstop investigations and attacking the president. Just once, I'd like to see Jane Fonda go get on a raft and head 90 miles south because her socialist utopia is waiting for her there.
The senator takes you behind the scenes of the Capitol.
Two clips.
from the president's
What is
impeachment
about Nancy
trial
Pelosi? This
to
is about
local
Jane
debates
Fonda.
that define our country for decades to come.
We've got the lowest unemployment in 50 years. And what are Bernie and AOC saying? Let's go back to high taxes, high regulations, government control that took away your jobs. Conservatives believe in power to the people. The socialists believe in power to the government. What they're selling doesn't work.
Subscribe today and leave a 5-star review for Verdict with Ted Cruz, co-hosted by me, Michael Knowles, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts.
Okay, so it's a daily breakdown of the news, but they do it once a week. The news of the day. The news of the day, and they do it what? Like
It looks like they started strong, even with 2 episodes on January 24th, and they kept it.
That was a Friday.
Yeah, they kept it going strong for a while.
Saturday.
But now it's kind of getting more sporadic.
So wait a second. They started 3 weeks ago as a daily show, and now they've already given up the ghost. That's the problem with conservatives, is that they just don't have any grit.
Yeah, they're lazy.
They don't like to work. They don't like to work.
Yeah, it looks like
lazy.
they're canning some of these multiple episodes a day. Yeah, lazy stuff.
Oh my gosh. Really sad to see. Really sad to see. And all this stuff with Jane Fonda is really disturbing.
Although it's probably hard to book Mike. Was it Michael Knowles?
Yeah.
Probably tough to get him in studio.
Yeah, very difficult. Very difficult to get this guy on board. God damn, Knowles. We should have done it with someone who was less in demand. Because